This is video 6 of the different prophetic types. Let's do Nehemiah today. Nehemiah, the type is going to be somebody who's not going to back down. What God has placed in their heart to do, they are going to repair. They are going to stand guard. They are going to accomplish and get the job done. Now, Nehemiah is not going to go off on its own. Nehemiah is one who's going to follow the lead of the apostle or the prophet, the bishop, or whoever, in the sense of getting permission before they are released to go and do a thing. Whatever it is that is on their heart to do, they are going to seek leadership to make sure that they are not out of order. And as leadership says, go and do the thing, go and repair the thing, go and build the thing, go and fix the thing that is on Nehemiah's heart, or the thing that the apostle may want the Nehemiah to intercede, to intercept, to stand in the gap for. Nehemiah is prepared to do the work that Nehemiah needs to do, because Nehemiah is a prayer warrior, an intercessor. Nehemiah is going to bring the thunder, the lightning, going to stand on a thing until that thing is completed, until it is done, until the battle is won. Nehemiah is going to bring all kinds of weapons of warfare. Nehemiah will build a prayer team of people to come together and to stand on what it is that Nehemiah is repairing, the repairer of the breach. Nehemiah is more of a person who is not only a warrior in prayer, but will also physically war with the weapons of the spirit realm, not just in the in prayer room, but as far as praise, as far as worship, as far as whatever weapons that God has given. Nehemiah is going to be properly prepared to handle whatever needs to be handled, along with the people who are building with Nehemiah. When the enemy comes up, when opposition comes up, Nehemiah is not going to back down. Nehemiah is going to stand on whatever needs to be stand on. Nehemiah is going to respectfully honor the leader, honor the church, honor what God has assigned Nehemiah to do. So if the leader does not release Nehemiah right away, Nehemiah is going to pray on that thing for God to intercept and intercede and touch the leader's heart to release Nehemiah to be able to go and fulfill what God has placed on Nehemiah's heart to do, to birth, to build, to repair, whatever it is that Nehemiah is assigned to do. So Nehemiah is just somebody who's going to stand for on what God says, who's going to see in the spirit and understand the things of God, understand the purpose of why this has to be rebuilt, why the timing, why it needs to be built in this timing, and press into it. Nehemiah is always going to complete the assignment. It doesn't matter how long Nehemiah has to stand guard and be on position and be on post and build, and replace and put things into position for things to be restored. Nehemiah will stand for years building a thing until the plots and plans of the enemy are destroyed, and the thing that God has and wants to be built is going to be built. So Nehemiah not only can stand in a place of alongside the apostle, the pastor, the teacher, like a Nathan, standing alongside, but not operating as a Nathan, but standing in the gap as a warrior when it comes to what Nehemiah senses and discerns and sees. Nehemiah is the first who can go and say, this is what needs to be rebuilt. This is what needs to be placed. This is the enemy that is coming. See Sanballat and Tobias, and stand front and center and not afraid to rebuke, to cast out, to tear down, to destroy, to stay strapped in the weapons that Nehemiah and the prayer warriors need. Nehemiah is going to call the shots and stand in position until the work is done. So working alongside what the pastor or the apostle or the leader is not discerning, Nehemiah is going to discern it and know what needs to be done, know what needs to be built, know what walls need to be put up, know who needs to stand at the gate, know who needs to stand on guard, know who needs to be in position, know who the team is that needs to be built. Nehemiah is a team player and will play with a team and will lead the team into building whatever needs to be built and shifting from being the nice guy and having to shift into, okay, now a threat is coming and this is what we need to do to prepare for the threat. So Nehemiah is not going to be comfortable in a position of just having the decree to go forward and to build or to restore whatever needs to be restored. Nehemiah is also going to be able to shift and transition into not just the prophet, but also the warrior, to make sure that Nehemiah is protecting and in place and on assignment and doing what God has called Nehemiah to do uninterrupted. So if you are a Nehemiah, this is why you are so passionate and you will hold on and stand guard on a thing as long as you need to. And you're going to hold on to that thing until it's either completed, until it is finished, until it is built, until God releases you off of that thing, or until, if the thing just so happens to, something happens, to cause it not to be because of the leader, because of whoever else's decision. Nehemiah is not going to impose his will on somebody else's will. But once Nehemiah gets permission on that thing, it's going to take God to pull Nehemiah off of that thing. So if this describes you, you're a prayer warrior, you're going to stand on that thing, you'll transition, you'll shift into not just the prophet and seeing in the realms of the spirit and knowing what needs to be built and knowing what things need to be done and things of that nature, hearing the instruction, getting it and holding on to it and making sure that you are determined with passion, with power, and with fire to complete that thing, to make sure that what needs to be restored is restored. If that is you and you sense that sounds like you may be a Nehemiah. You may have the Nehemiah anointing. You may be the prophetic type of the Nehemiah. And, you'll stand on that thing hold it till it holler, until you can't hold it no more. So that's the Nehemiah prophet. I think we're going to move into Jeremiah next. Be blessed.